I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first item of agenda on the agenda is the reorganization of the members.
I make the motion we continue with the present officers for 2026.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so. Ed, you were vice president?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Next up, appointments to drainage boards. Starke Pulaski.
That was Merlin.
Merlin and I.
Yeah.
I would like to stay on it. Yeah, it's two of us. Was on it.
So we'll need someone for Merlin's seat.
Right.
I nominate Justin. Thanks, pal.
Just be all right with that.
Sure.
Any other nominations? Okay. Guess it'd be Justin and I.
Oh, you'll need a second on that. Thank you, Trevor.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So myself and Justin will be the Starke Pulaski. Starke Marshall was Matt
And Charlie.
and Charlie.
I'm fine with doing definitely.
Okay.
A motion for that or just go on and do it all.
Yeah, motion, please.
Make a motion to accept that, Matt and Charlie.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Matt and Charlie will be Starke Marshall. 3 county. We've done that before.
Well, actually, I should have taken that off there because we don't have a 3 count.
Okay, as I said, I remember doing
I
that.
apologize. Yeah, I want to know.
4 counties with Dino Ed, you were on that.
Yes, I'd like to stay on that.
Were you the only one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We just, yeah. I'll make a motion to keep Ed on the 4 county.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Monon. Who was on that?
I think where were you? Where
Oh,
were you?
it was great.
No, it wasn't on Monon. I was on the Zec chapter.
Oh, and it was Merlin, yeah.
Does that one meet? Where?
I don't have any contact with that board at all, other than we have to reimburse them a ton of money.
With the Monon?
Yeah. So
You just want our money.
it was our mistake back in the day, but yeah.
I nominate Matthew.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Matt will be on the Monon. And the Zec chap lore. I was on it before. I could stay on it. We've never met that I know of. I don't ever.
Okay.
I don't remember ever meeting for it, but
I make a motion that Greg stays on.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, drainage board attorney contract.
What?
Any major changes?
No, there's not.
The date, that was all that was changed.
Okay,
The dates, yeah.
You'll just need to sign the back of it.
oh,
You
okay,
review it.
okay.
I make a motion that Autumn continues to. Our attorney.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I just need to,
On the back.
oh, okay, I've seen the date up here, so I don't know if I should date that this year up here.
He didn't. Then. Next item, emergency maintenance contracts.
Okay, so obviously there's the same things we've been doing since I believe like 2018. We received two of them back. We sent out several, probably 8 different contractors or so. We received these 2 back, one from Dirtworks, one from Allsop. And so these were just need signed by the board. So if we were to have a flood and need reimbursed by FEMA, it's the same thing that we do each year.
We don't need a motion on this or anything.
No, no.
But any discussion?
Did we have more last year?
Yeah.
They kind of dwindle in after the fact, so we'll have more come in probably the next
Okay.
month and, you
I
know,
didn't know if we had like a deadline that.
he did, but it's all right. The only, it's fine. We need as many as we can get if something.
Yes, no,
happens.
definitely something
Yeah,
on this side of the county than this side.
right, yeah,
Everybody worked together usually too.
exactly,
Together.
yeah.
Okay, next is minutes from the December meeting.
Make motion to accept them as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor,
Aye.
Hey,
opposed? Motion carried.
You can't sign it.
yes.
My pen doesn't work anyway.
What's your notes?
I thought we on purpose.
There's a nice picture on that.
I did wrong. I have. I got no.
Oh, yeah, I broke mine too. I was gonna go up and now it's work.
That's what I got. Yes. Next up is claims.
We don't have any claims this month.
We can fly right past that. And the next thing on the agenda, we're bringing up the situation of Bass Lake.
Yes. So, last month at the meeting, we had, the gentleman here, the property owner, Mitch, came before the board to ask if he could clean out the errors drain himself and the stumps and we were, gonna find out, have a survey company go out and find out exactly where lines are and the grade and this and that. Autumn and I are gonna need to work together. I've had, ongoing conversations with, the other adjoining property owner that's here today. So he would like to, speak and present his side. And then Autumn and I are gonna work together moving forward, because there's a little bit of discrepancy there, I believe, so. Yeah,
Take the floor, huh?
yes,
Well, the ditch, the survey that we have that was sent to us was the actual survey that was done by that the builder had done. So the gentleman that did the survey for that ditch actually sent me a copy of it. And it clearly shows the vast majority of that ditch is completely, especially from the road, about halfway down the property. I'm not sure the exact measurement to the lake. I think the number was tossed around about 400 feet from the road to the lake. But about 200 feet of that is all on our property. The builder had started to dig in the ditch. It was clearly marked where our property line was. That ditch, like I said, from the road about 200 feet down is all on our property. So he was digging on our property and in a ditch that you guys control, right?
Mhm.
And he probably should have gotten permission from you guys to do that before he started digging. And then you went out there and you told him that he needed to bring that. But what triggered my deep concern was when I was up there November 15th, because it's just a summer house. It's an old house. It's been in the family since 1905. And I saw huge drainage pipes about 20 feet long, I think we have established, and about 18 or so inches in diameter. And I was like going, okay, I put one and one together. I saw the digging, saw the pipes. I'm going, okay, he's wanting to bury this pipe from the road as far down as he can to basically improve, I think, and predominantly improve, enhance his property. And I get that, and I can appreciate that. But in the process of trying to bury that pipe, my concern is that you're going to have to cut into trees, have more trees removed. He's already done that. He had a tree guy come in, cut down one of our trees without our permission. Excuse me, 2 trees without our permission. And that was the week you actually had gone out there to tell him he needed to come to the board and have this approved. So this tree guy comes out, very nice guy, I've worked with him in the past. Comes out and cuts down 2 trees on our property without our permission, and then trims another couple trees without our permission that the builder told him to work on. So to me, that's alarming that the builder would authorize something, and he also lied to you guys when on this December 6th meeting. I watched the whole thing. He lied a couple of different times. I never gave him permission to come back on our property and cut down any more trees. Initially, back in 2022, when he bought that property, I had given the okay to cut down a tree that was leaning kind of over their property that was clearly in our property line. And I actually even gave him use of our driveway to the tree guy to cut down a larger tree that was on his side that was growing right near the house. I said, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we were trying to be cooperative and work with the builder, let him build his house and basically leave our property alone. You know, we even allowed further earlier this summer to trim some trees back. He was building the house. The house was getting pretty tall. It's a 2-story house. And he asked if he could trim some of the limbs that were near the house. And I said, absolutely, feel free. Well, he and or the tree guy decided to go halfway down our driveway and trim even more trees that were even away from the house. So that, to me, that was taking advantage of really what I had authorized. I've said, yeah, clear away from your house, your new house, what you need to make it. And he lied to you guys last week saying that, or not last week, back on December 6th, that I was not letting him trim trees back. And that's just not true. We have been cooperative and tried to work with him anytime and anywhere he has asked us to work with him. But my concern with this ditch, and you guys had discussed this at your last meeting, that is just such. I've been up there 58 years, ever since I was a kid, little kid, and I watched that ditch for 58 years. I've seen the lake totally fill that ditch and then go back and go underneath the road, and carp will swim back through that and get stuck on the other side of the road. I've also seen it. Generally, the only time that I have seen that ditch drain to the lake is when the lake is low and it's dry and we've had a lot of rain. Then you'll see that ditch actually flow to the lake. I don't think that there's any way, personally. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a surveyor of grade, but I don't even know if it's possible to actually get that set up, given how the lake is situated, to actually do what people want it to do, which is drain that field primarily, right? Isn't that kind of the goal of that ditch, is to keep that? And I don't even know why, because that ditch, to be honest with you, the field behind us there, it's not even used. It's just land where wildflowers grow. I mean, so I don't even know how much of a priority it is to have the ditch there. But again, that's kind of the situation that we're in here. The ditch does not operate in I don't know, in a manner I think that it maybe was intended. My mom, who is 86 years old and has been up there since she was a little kid, she said, well, what did she say? She said the lake is higher, but what the heck did she say? I'm sorry, I can't recall exactly I asked her to come, but she didn't want to make the drive. But anyway, I'm sure it'll come back to me. But the bottom line is the ditch isn't draining that field. If anything, the lake is filling that ditch and it's pushing water back into that field. And it's a very low, flat, I remember what I was gonna say. My mom said from when she was a little girl, it was always kind of initially a natural ravine. And I'm not sure if then the county saw this kind of natural ravine and said, okay, well, maybe, this can be used to help drain this field. I don't know what the thinking was behind that. But the bottom line is, I'm not sure how feasible, practical, if it will even work to try to make a ditch, let alone put that pipe in to actually do what people want it to do, in other words, drain that field. So that's kind of where we're at with it. We're very opposed. I said this early on to you in an email, to any further digging and cutting of trees along that ditch. The builder seemed to suggest that we were planting trees. We have never planted a single tree along that ditch. Everything that has grown there has grown naturally. We've always known that it was a county-owned ditch and that there was some sort of easement. I never knew the exact dimensions of that easement. But I mean, had I wish I would have come to that meeting. I was not feeling great, so we didn't make that meeting. But we're again, I just can't impress enough that we are opposed to any further digging. I mean, he's already cut down trees on our property, probably getting an attorney to deal with that. I don't think, as I think I mentioned to you in an email, what I personally think probably needs to happen with that ditch is that, and this would actually benefit the builder. I mentioned that too in my email, to actually fill the ditch in and then figure some alternate plan if it's still important to drain that ditch, drain the field, and maybe shoot it out down closer to where the little Scoops and Smile little restaurant is. But I think that, I guess my question to you all, were you able to survey that ditch and get the grade, and is it even practical to put a pipe in? Because I think that was mentioned in the last meeting.
It was mentioned in the last meeting. So, no, we have not done that at this time.
Okay,
I'm going to be working with the drainage board attorney because it seems like there are a lot of questions with, I understand that we have an easement, but we also need to be careful with the property lines and him doing the work if it happens to be on their property and that type of thing. So I want to get with Autumn and we really need to talk through this before we move forward.
yeah, and I don't want him doing the work. I mentioned that to you in my email. With what's already been done to our property, I'm very opposed to him doing anything because he doesn't care about our property. He just wants to do what he wants to do to make his house as attractive as possible. I don't know if his intent is to live in the house or if it's to sell it. My thinking is that he wants to live in it because he's put his boat out in the front and a hammock, and there hasn't been a for sale sign on this house. So I'm thinking he just wants to make his property as beautiful as possible. And I get that, why not? Why not try to make it as nice as, for yourself as possible? But it can't be at the expense of what we want for our property. Now, I get one of the last questions that was asked during your meeting was who owns the trees? Well, technically, I guess nobody owns the trees per se. We are responsible for maintaining them and trimming them back. I guess again, that's where I think an attorney on our side would have been helpful. Something I'm talking to my parents about. But we just are very opposed to any deep digging. Now, you mentioned early on cleaning out the ditch. He wasn't intending to clean out the ditch. He was intending to bury a 18-inch diameter pipe that's over 200 feet long. That's not cleaning out the ditch. I'm not opposed to cleaning out the ditch, digging it out, because as you guys all acknowledge, it has not been cleaned out in my 58 years. Now, a guy that used to live there, Mac Byer, who you guys may have known him, he lived here in town and lived out there at the lake. He was our next door neighbor. He lived there year round. He would try to clean that out throughout the year to try to keep it going. I think it just got beyond him. But I'm not opposed to cleaning out the ditch because again, we have a lot of trees. The trees kind of serve as a natural privacy for us. You know, the bushes along there, I mean, I can see right now if more digging goes on to do what he intends to do. I mean, more bushes are gonna be taken out, more trees are gonna be taken out. And again, we're just opposed to having it's unrecognizable. She pointed out the pictures of the trees cut down to her daughter, and her daughter didn't even recognize the entrance to our driveway anymore. We have an old tree that's been on the property since my great grandparents bought it, that the builder cut down because he didn't care about it. He just saw an old tree and wanted it cut down, clearly on our property. So that is why we're here. I appreciate you guys mentioned in your meeting, you wanted to be careful with this. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate you putting a stop on this, because had I not been up there, had I not made the occasional visit up there throughout the winter, that pipe would have been in and trees would have been gone and everything else, and it would all have been too late. So I'm trying to nip this in the bud, at least as much as I can, for our own sake, you know, for how we have enjoyed our property. I mean, we're not bad neighbors. We try to be helpful to people, but we aren't going to be abused either by a builder who wants to come in and do whatever he wants to do to his property. That's his business, his property. Coming into our property and cutting trees down and trimming trees without our permission, I mean, that's just beyond me. I mean, I would never do that to someone else's property.
Well, would like to recommend to the board that you guys are okay with Autumn and I working together. Like I said, because I don't think we should move forward with this quite yet until we go through all the and make sure everything's good, so. And then I'll update you guys at the February meeting with what's going on. So, but at this time, there won't be any work moving forward yet until Autumn and I talk. If that's all right. Really appreciate you coming here.
No, I really.
And all your emails and everything. Oh,
I try not to bury you too much.
you haven't at all.
I mean, I appreciate you guys listening though. And yeah, the property is owned by my parents. They're 86 years old. I'm just here kind of on their behalf to speak for them and make them aware of what's going on. And my mom has said she doesn't want any more trees cut, and she's very opposed to that. So whatever you guys can do to help the situation. But the ditch, again, I want to emphasize, most of that ditch is on our property, halfway down from the road to the lake, according to the surveyor. And then as you get halfway down, it kind of shifts a little bit more towards his property line. But his concern is more from the road to, 200 feet down, not the lakeside. But there are all kinds of questions around this pipe, like who's going to maintain this pipe if it's put in? Who's going to clean that out? And will it actually work? Will water just sit in it and start to stagnate and stink unless it's unless it's set up properly? That pipe that goes underneath State Road 10 that he wants to connect that to, that pipe is super low. It is lower than where the ditch level is. So I don't even know, unless something is going to be done from my amateur eyes to the road, to State Road 10 and that pipe. I don't know how you get that to flow to the lake. And I guess the last thing I wanted to say is that, if he wants to shift that pipe and put it more on his property, he's welcome to do that. I mean, he's got land that he can put that pipe, leave the ditch alone and run it down the middle of his property.
Okay.
I mean, that's an option, right?
Yeah, it certainly would be. Yeah.
I mean, it would leave our trees alone and keep our privacy intact and allow him to put in his pipe and see what happened from there. And then maybe divert it again back towards the ditch. But I just don't think it's going to work.
Okay. Well, you definitely have valid concerns, and we'll Autumn and I will work together and keep you in the loop. I have all your contact information. I appreciate you guys making the drive today and voicing your concerns.
I really appreciate you and appreciate you guys, and Happy New Year.
You too. Thank you.
All right. I guess we're done then.
Yep, you're all done, but
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'll definitely be in contact with you.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Glenn.
Yep, you're welcome.
We need a motion on that, then you think, or?
Yeah, let's go ahead and make a motion for Autumn and Ida.
And then to stop. Have they made a motion for him to?
Yeah,
stop
and
doing
we need, right, and we
work?
need to stop it, yeah.
Stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Autumn.
Make
You
that
made a motion. I'll second.
Like,
Oh, you did make a motion?
yeah, I'll make a motion to stop work until we figure out what we need to do for you guys to, see what legal things we need to do.
Okay, thank you.
And Ed seconded?
Yes.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, 2026 ditch assessment rates.
Okay, gentlemen, so Sarah mainly researched like crazy. And went through old records, everything we can find. It looks like the safest thing for this board would be to have a public hearing if we were thinking about raising any ditch assessments, because several of them have already been raised many, many years ago. And then we also have to keep in mind that some of these ditches were also combined with a different ditch at one time, like Roshan. I know that isn't this board, but I'm just throwing for an example. Roshan used to be its own or under the Robins, and then it went on its own, and we've got a lot of things that have changed over the years. So if we are going to consider doing an increase, whether it's 25% or whatever the percentage is, I believe that the best option would be to do the public hearing, so we are covered.
Can you do a blanket public hearing? Cause you're gonna have a lot of ditches involved.
That's true.
For like all the Stark regular.
As long as they're listed and advertised properly, I believe so.
Okay,
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, you have a lot of public hearings.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, but yeah, as long as they're advertised properly and everything's included, I don't see why. we
well,
couldn't
then I
do that.
guess the other question is, how many can we raise? How many ditches have not been raised, cause we're gonna raise them once?
Well, if you're
I
having,
think that's the issue.
Yeah, that
I
is
can't
the
really
issue.
determine.
if you're having the public hearing, you can raise them all again. It don't matter whether you raise. them.
No, that's not true. Right? You're gonna raise them once,
Without the public.
Without the public hearing.
Public hearing.
without the public.
Right, or if you have
Yeah.
a public hearing, you can raise them again.
Correct.
Well, I understood it
It
anyway.
is, that is correct.
Okay, okay.
Yep. So, something, I mean, no one wants to pay any more taxes. I completely understand that, but it's just something for you guys to think about. I mean, a lot of these ditches haven't been touched in a very long time. And, you'll see that with some of the photos and things that we're gonna have, with some of the other ditches, but just throwing it out there for you guys, because if you're gonna do it, we need to really, we're kind of on a time crunch for this year. So if we're gonna do it, we have to have enough time to advertise properly and notify property owners and all this and that. And if we don't move on it soon, if that's what the board decide to do, then we'll have to wait till next year.
Oh, yeah, cause you're spring taxes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It'll take that long, cause you're gonna have to literally go over every ditch. The board's gonna have to go over every ditch. To determine where we wanna go on increase.
Yes.
You know, it's gonna take another meeting or two, what I call separate meeting just for that. So I
Okay.
don't think we should worry about getting it this year. I just don't think we can,
Not enough time.
not enough time to make that all happen. Then you gotta have your public hearing along with that.
Yeah, and advertise it
It's
so many
almost-
days.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
only 10 days?
Yeah, it's 10 days. Yeah,
Still, yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah.
So like you said, maybe we should work on what ditches need it.
Right.
Or if there's
Been doing- But
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know, we all know that within the last 4 years or so, things have really skyrocketed with prices.
Well,
So
yeah,
even with
Yeah.
spraying or any of that type of thing.
yes.
So I mean, I just want you guys to know from the future that when people, I mean, I'm doing the best I can, but I also am trying to watch the money as well. So,
Because didn't you say that we kind of have to know that by February sometime?
correct. Yep.
So then there's no way to get it by then.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we decided by the end of February? I
That's
thought
what we were
really-
talking about.
a safe, yeah.
Was the safe, by the end of February was the safe, yeah. So you'd have this meeting, we'd schedule a separate public hearing,
It's just not.
and then
enough
your
time.
regular meeting.
No, it's not enough time.
No, I think it's not, I don't know, okay. All right, well, that
Do it
answers
the
that.
right way.
Okay. All right,
But we need a motion on anything there. We're not gonna do anything for now, or do?
No, we don't.
Let it,
We just discussed it. Good.
Okay. Moving on, item number 8, the 26 projects.
So we just discussed the Ayers drain, obviously. The Taylor drain is one that we discussed in the past. We're gonna get it worked on. I've been dealing with the highway garage on who pays for the culvert and this and that, so that's in the works. And also, just to update you guys again, because we talked about it at a drainage board meeting, you had decided to, go ahead and see about debrushing and cleaning a stretch of the cottonwood. So we're gonna get that done and get that worked out. Hopefully I'll have something for you guys at the February meeting with that. So.
All right, fee schedule.
So something I wanted to run past you, I've done a lot of research with other area surveyors offices. And this isn't so much, of course, to bring in revenue into the office. This is more of a compliance type thing. I notice when I'm out driving around that there are a lot of flags of different utilities, internets and things like that that are within the ditch right of way, and we never get contacted or made aware of what's going on. So something I considered was coming up with a permit process. And a fee schedule for those permits, started them out a lot, more inexpensive than what other counties do, just as I said, like, as more of a compliance type issue instead of, we're not trying to bring the revenue into the office, like I said, and make money off of people, obviously. But we need to be able to keep better track of these type of things and hold people accountable if they're going into our easements and we're not aware of what's going on. I think that puts our contractors at a risk also when they're dredging these ditches for maintenance, not knowing exactly what's there and what's been done by utility companies and such. So that's just something I want to present to you guys and get your thoughts.
I have a question already then.
Yeah,
An individual, in farm drainage, regulated drain outlet permit, $50 each.
yes.
So you're gonna charge somebody $50 every time they put an outlet into a ditch?
So this is still in the beginning phases. I am definitely open to changing fees and that type of thing. That's why I'm presenting it to you guys, because I want your input and your opinion.
I'm just,
That's
if you system tile a field.
Mine is 100 each.
No, regulated drain outlet permit $50 each, outlet perimeter field tile on individual residence and farm drainage.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Mine says $100 each.
Well, this says 50.
Culvert,
That's for culvert.
that's for a culvert.
Oh, yours does.
This is 100.
That's how we said fit.
See, screw up. The one that I said at your tape,
Should be longer.
it's right here. This is,
Oh, that's okay, that's no problem.
The only thing I get on is if you system tile something on 50-foot
Oh,
centers
okay,
or 100-foot centers, that's gonna get really freaking expensive and there's
Oh, yeah.
like.
okay, I understand, and that's.
My thought is, so what's something like that, what's the reasoning for the fee?
The reasoning for the fee, we're trying to, of course, get people in here and encourage them to get the permit so that we have a record of it in our office. Now, even if we don't do, I mean, even if it was just something like $20, I don't care. I just want to be able to have.
Maybe
people come
like
in.
$20 maybe for like the whole project,
Okay,
but
and
not
I'm
like,
definitely,
not $50 each, because
right,
if you're worried about, is it gonna work right? Well, everybody that does tile shoots grade anyways to make it work, because you won't put in tile if you don't shoot grade, so.
okay,
I think that's some of these, I mean, they're good ideas, but prices probably need tweaked.
yeah, well,
A lot.
definitely we'll do that. I would like to make them, for workable for us.
Cause as you say, everyone's already overtaxed, and then,
Right,
I
right.
mean, you do more, it's kind of like another tax without saying
Yeah.
it's a tax.
Okay.
Is it also gonna be like, so it's recorded?
Yes.
Like every one of, like Matt said, you put tile in, every one of those GPS points will be recorded or something
Well-
on a map, or is that what you're?
I'm hoping to, eventually, my goal would be to have it on GIS. But, I mean, that's a process, but we have to start somewhere if we're gonna do something like that, so,
But. I'm just. Yeah,
no, go ahead, Matt.
I'm just curious, if I have a regulated drain that comes through my farm and I tile into it. Technically, I own the center of the ditch, the center of the road when I own property. So why it's kind of like the privacy issue too, I think.
So if it's a regulated ditch, we have.
I know, but what I'm saying is, why does everyone? Yeah,
No,
see what I'm saying? It's kind of why does everyone need to know where I put tile at? I mean, on GIS, like,
Okay,
right?
well, and there's a public GIS that doesn't.
But I'm just saying, like, if somebody punches a, like, if they have a well, that doesn't come up on GIS.
Right, on the public version, but we have the paid one in our office, there's
Yeah.
a lot more layers than what the public version does, and that's.
So
what I'm
is
thinking.
it
So
on yours?
it would be on, the wells aren't, no, but that's what I was thinking is for our office purposes, not necessarily for. But we can definitely, hold off on this and give it some thought and get some prices worked out or whatever you guys think. So I'm gonna be presenting it to each board and getting their thoughts. And then, yeah, we can discuss it further. I appreciate your opinions.
Any other discussion?
Okay, yeah, another question so you're charging like a permit for when somebody wants to replace a culvert, so you know about it.
Correct.
What is that? That's just covering compliance? Are you gonna go out and shoot grade to make sure they do it right?
That is, no, to be honest with you, I'm not going out there and shooting great and making sure they're doing it right. It would just be for records in our
Yeah,
office.
then just make it a really cheap fee, so somebody still does it, instead of an expensive one. Otherwise, somebody would be like, why are you charging me $250 to do this? Like, are you gonna come out and shoot the grade?
Right, I
See what I mean? If you're actually gonna go out and shoot grade, make sure it's right, I could see the more money.
okay,
See what I'm saying?
yeah, I completely understand. Yep. Yep, we can definitely do that. We'll tweak all those or whatever we need to do and work together and figure something out, so.
Anything else? Item is the Craig Mile discussion.
Larry Waffle was actually gonna be here today. Something must have come up. So we'll save that for a later date so he can present to you what he wants to discuss. So,
Any other old business?
I don't have anything, no.
New business?
No. Is there anything that you, as a board, would like to see done differently, changed, upgraded through the upcoming year? Improved or anything like that, or definitely here to work with you guys, so. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Anything else out on the floor?
I've been talking to Gwen. I talked to Gwen last week. I'm Matt Colish and we are in Pulaski County and we've got a ditch we'd like to.
Hold on a second, that'll be at the next.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
you sent me that thing and I said.
This is just the start, yeah, it's just the start.
Yeah, it'll be starting after this one.
Yeah, first time.
That's good. No problem, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, if nothing else? A motion,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.